Hello and welcome to the GX Podcast, the world's first podcast focused on government services and their future. In this podcast, we talk about everything related to government excellence, government service design and delivery, GovTech, and citizen engagement. Join us for insightful interviews and conversations every month. Visit us online at gx.ae. Hi and welcome to the World Government Summit 2022. We are live at the show floor at the World Government Summit and right about to get started with the GX Forum in a couple of hours. I have with me Dr. Daniel Kraft. Daniel, welcome to the World Government Summit.
It's great to be back.
So we're talking government services today. We're talking about reducing the friction when governments deliver services in healthcare, transportation, different industries, right? But let's talk about healthcare. What do you think is maybe the biggest challenge that governments face when delivering healthcare to citizens who need them?
I think one of the challenges, healthcare is personal. It's also complicated. There's no one size fits all. You know, whether you're 2 or 102, you have very different needs across the care continuum. And I love it, GX. I always like the word X because it's the interface. And I think the world of healthcare is at the interface of so many new and emerging fields, whether it's, you know, your digital exhaust that can be collected from your wearables or your smart homes. It's your personal genomics. I think what's exciting about healthcare and government services is it's this intersection of so much that's critical to each of us at the individual level, our family level, our community level. Because health is wealth, right? If you don't have that, it's a bit of a so what. And we have now these new emergent tools for governments and individuals and clinicians and health systems to make more sense of health, not one size fits all medicine, but to be much more proactive and not reactive. Traditionally, we practice sick care. We wait for someone to have diabetes, a heart attack, a stroke, or a cancer. Part of this emergent future, leveraging incentives, government, policy, and services, is to be much more personalized, much more proactive, and to bring true health anywhere, anytime, with much better outcomes at lower cost.
Yeah, we're looking at the emergence of a lot of different technologies, and you're a fan of technology and how we can use, say, wearables to gather data, use that data to, change how healthcare is looked at in the first place. I mean, delivering it is secondary. What do you think technology can really bring? What is important? Is it the data? Is it the gadgets? What is it?
It's not the gadgets. It's actually not about the technology. You want the technology to get out of the way. What we want is not, we can have exponential data. I can stream terabytes of data from my wearables and my genome and my metabolome, all these omics. What we want are not the data, but the actionable insights that relate to you or to me or to my patients or to my community that I serve. And so the challenge and the opportunity is to go from exponential data sets to connect the dots, turn that to actionable information and insights about you, your family, your particular community, your health system, and then to narrow the gap between new knowledge and what's translated to the bedside or the website or to policies or services. Because sometimes it takes 10 or 15 years for some new knowledge to become standard of care. And I think what government and services can do is to help build better user interfaces, to gamify, to make it feel engaging, not just have precision medicine, but precision digital and connected health to enable services to meet the individual with who and where they are.
Yeah. So today in the forum, what would be an ideal outcome for you in terms of achieving it? What is maybe some of the points you'd like to drive?
Well, I think sometimes especially in Dubai, the future is coming faster than you think. And I think it's still a challenge for many of us to think exponentially. I first came to UAE 20 years ago, and then I was here 10 years ago, and things are rapidly accelerating. But still our brains don't get where AI, robotics, 3D printing, nanotech, genomics, drones, synthetic biology might be in another 5 or 10 years. The next 10 years will make the last 10 years look slow. So I think from the perspective of anybody innovating in government services or beyond is to have that exponential mindset. How do we converge these technologies to solve the problems of today and tomorrow so you don't get locked into a 2022 mindset, but you have the 2072 mindset.
Yeah. Let me ask you a last question about innovation in government, and we can of course talk about healthcare. What would be the one recommendation they can provide governments when it comes to innovation? Let's talk about the healthcare space and healthcare delivery space, the services delivery side of healthcare. How can governments innovate?
I think where governments help drive the most change is by leveraging the incentives, because so much in healthcare has misaligned incentives. You might build a great new technology that keeps a patient out of the hospital CEO is not very happy about that. You might have a great new public health measure, but the nurse is no longer needed in the same way, so they kind of resist that new technology. So we need to align, software of the brain and the human to align with the new technologies and services so that we don't hold ourselves back, sometimes for the wrong reasons. So it's a bit of public messaging, aligning and helping folks change and sometimes repurpose themselves in this new age. We don't need to still be stuck on fax machines and old school methods. So I think government aligns incentives, sets the targets, and can help converge and bring technologies to meet the public health and other needs that we have that are only growing in the setting of COVID and beyond.
Incredible. Thank you so much, Dr. Kraft. It's a pleasure having you here. Enjoy the forum, and thanks for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
Take care.